Welcome to Food and Loathing on location in the Hunridge Theater District. We are coming to you today from Winnie and Ethel's downtown diner, located just across Maryland Parkway from the theater itself. And yeah, the gang is all here.
Yeah, baby.
That gang, simple little trio, your co-hosts, a pair of ravenous food writers named Al Mancini and Gemini Stevens, and our engineer and resident expert on eggs over medium, Rich Johnson.
Spoiler alert.
We get together once a week, either in person or virtually, and we talk food. And because we've been doing this a long time, there's no knowing what tangents we might go off on. But we're banking on the fact that you're either a food nerd, a chef groupie, or a restaurant super fan, and you enjoy those tangents.
That's right.
Buckle in, man.
Yeah.
I like that there's a warning at the head now.
Yeah. As I mentioned, here today at Winnie and Ethel's Downtown Diner in the heart of the Hunridge Theater District, which I have cited multiple times. If you listen to this podcast regularly, this area is my pick for the Valley's next up-and-coming neighborhood.
Yeah.
It reminds me of what the Arts District felt like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, before it really started taking off. So I'm super excited to be here. We're going to be chatting with the owners, Aaron Lee and Mallory Gott, in a little while, just about everything. But first, before we get to that, my friends, how you doing? How you feeling about being here in person today?
I love this.
It's been way too long for me, so I'm very happy to be here.
Oh, I love where we are because of the menu and the vibe. I love that I get to sit with you guys. But, I mean, if you guys haven't been to Winnie and Ethel's yet, and I'm talking about the royal you guys, because obviously we have been here, you've got to come in. It's such a comforting, but still, like, vibrant little thing happening. And it's a little incongruous for me, but I'm loving it. If you can hear the background, it doesn't look like you might think it would. Looks a little bit like old grandma's house or something in the best way.
Yeah. An upscale Dottie's? No.
We don't have a video poker?
Yeah.
No video poker.
Are there plastic plants? I think I see one over there.
Oh, man, we love it here.
Oh.
We've been
Yes.
following the history of this restaurant since it was just an idea.
Yeah.
And a contest entry to create
That's
this
right.
restaurant.
Yes.
So, yeah, man, we're big fans. And we will have Aaron and Mallory out here soon, but I'm hoping we don't have to wait that long to dig into some dishes. We'll see what comes out. It's packed in here
Oh,
right
my
now.
God,
You know,
it's
we're at the
great.
tail end of the lunch break.
Yep.
I mean, the lunch rush, I should say.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that, as these people start piling out, Aaron and Mallory will have a minute or two to come over and either feed us or talk to us or both.
Hopefully both, yes.
Hopefully both, yeah. But before we get to that, and we eat their food, we do all that, we're going to tell you about some other places we've been dining recently. Gemini, you have anything for us this week?
You know what? I don't. I left super fast last week. I just got back this morning, but I am promising some good stuff for next week, so
Okay.
Yeah.
I will roll it into that.
When are we going to get the lowdown on the Oklahoma City dining scene?
I'll absolutely share some more of that, yeah.
We're
Okay.
going to do a bonus episode.
Yeah.
I don't know
How many months did I
got to keep people's attention that
Yeah.
eat in Vegas, man. That's,
Tell you what I'll do. I will find the ties from Vegas to Oklahoma City, because there
Yeah.
are quite a few.
Oh.
And I'll just throw it out there. Kevin Lee's Birdies in Oklahoma City is, if I was told correctly, is up for it's in the James Beard semifinalists.
Yeah.
And I met him through people here in Vegas when he was working here. So there's a tie. We can do stuff like that.
yeah, there's
for sure.
always a tie. Rich, what about you, man? You been eating anywhere cool recently? You had your eggs over medium somewhere good?
Well, I'll get to that.
Okay.
I was in the mood for both a sandwich and a car wash.
Okay. Don't
Where do
mix,
you-
don't,
Let me guess.
don't
Mike's
confuse the
loving
two.
sandwiches.
You are correct, sir.
yes.
Yeah,
I've
I know
only
where to
had
get a
that
sandwich and a
once.
car wash
Yeah.
in this fucking town, man.
There are two locations of Ike's in the inside Fabulous Freddy's on the west side. In
Yeah.
my case, it was the Durango location just south of Flamingo. The other one is at my usual
It's by
car
my
wash
house.
go-to, Rampart and Charleston.
Yep.
The one on Durango's got a Jiffy Lube next door, too. If
Oh,
you
yeah. So
does
wanna
Charleston.
Really,
Yeah.
Everything you need.
all in one stop, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Sandwich,
That's
Jiffy
right.
Lube, car
So,
wash.
I had, other than seeing them in the car wash the last 3 or 4 years, I'd never heard of them, so I looked up. Chain started in San Francisco in 2007. I did not get Ike's last name, but there's plenty of both pictures and caricatures of him on the website. Most of the sandwiches are named after baseball and football people. There's a couple of other TV folks, but in my case, the sports talk host Jim Rome. The Jim Rome is turkey, avocado, red pesto, and cheddar, lettuce, tomato, and what is called hot and dirty sauce. I had it on a sourdough hoagie, very solid roll, very nice. I thought the red pesto would have a bit more flavor, but it did not. It was milder than mild. The hot and dirty sauce also needed a little more heat.
It'd be hotter and dirtier.
It's Vegas, man.
A decent effort, and now that I know that, next time I go back, I will make sure it's got a little more something going on in there. The bonus, though, it was double wrapped, so I didn't spill stuff all over the video poker machine. I was playing as my car was getting washed. I hit the Oyster Bar at Red Rock one day. Had one of my favorite Vegas dishes that I haven't had in a long time. I mean, it's not just a Vegas thing, but it's where I found it the first time a decade plus ago. A pan roast.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I got the combo, shrimp, lobster, and crab. Generous enough that after eating all the seafood, you get the rice and you dump that in there and you mix it up too. I had enough of that rice sauce left that I boxed it up, took it home, grabbed some shrimp out of the freezer, fried those up separate, put it in, and I had 2 pan roasts. So
I'm not sure, so maybe you guys know this one. There are a lot of great oyster bars in station casinos. Of course, the Palace Station one, I was just talking to Chris Kimball about that. People line up for hours, and it's crazy.
When John and I get a craving to go for breakfast on a weekend morning, we have to go at like 6:30 or 7 because anything after 7:45, and the line is already down the wall.
I know where you're going with this, and I do have the answer.
So my question is, I believe this one's run by the Naxos Taverna people. It's not run by the people that run all the other oyster bars. Am I correct there?
Is it BUA or BUA, B-U-A food group, the folks who own Lotus of Siam?
Yeah.
It was originally called the Callisto Oyster Bar, and then they changed the name to Red Rock Oyster Bar, and they emulated the menu of the station's oyster bars, but it is still separate. They're paying rent. We've noted the corporate strife at BUA and Lotus and all that, but the Oyster Bar is none the worse for it. Still going strong. I was in there 2 o'clock. It wasn't full. There were about 4 other people there, but I've never seen it empty.
No.
Right.
Yeah, so like that. I finally got back to Dupar's in the Suncoast.
Oh, yeah.
Dupar's.
Yes, bacon and eggs, over medium. Dupar's? You like second syllable accent? Is that it?
I mean, I wouldn't say Dupar's.
Why not?
I say Dupar's.
I say Dupar's. I had to think about it for a minute, but yeah.
If I wasn't stopped, trapped in here, I would stand corrected. So, my last 2 attempts to go to Dupar's were frustrated by the dearth of staff. There's 5 people in there, and they said it would be a 20-minute wait because they only had a couple of servers.
Oh, my goodness.
This time, it was no problem. I went 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning on a Thursday. And the big breakfast, bacon and eggs over medium, toast and hash browns. I put it just that notch below the peppermill.
Okay.
As one of the better in towns for me. It's generous, but it's also very good. They did the eggs perfectly for me.
They're known
and I'm
for their
picky
pancakes there, though.
I know, but I got to watch the carbs. I chose toast and hash browns. I would have had to go with scrambled eggs or something and then swapped out the toast probably for a pancake, which I'll probably do next time.
I find their pancakes, first of all, I don't like pancakes. It's taken me forever to
I'm not
accept
a huge
the fact
pancake
that I
fan.
don't like them. For years and years, I would go to breakfast places, and I'd always order the pancakes with extra candy or extra you know what I mean? And then
they were just a vehicle.
Yeah, and then I just realized I just don't like fucking pancakes. And if I want to eat candy, I should just go buy some fucking candy.
It's America, damn it. You don't have to have it, at least for now.
But the Dupar's pancakes.
What?
I'm going with you, Rich, man. I don't want you to feel left out here. They didn't impress me, but I'm a guy who doesn't like pancakes. But they are known for those pancakes.
Yeah.
I will have one once in a while, but then I'll put on almost equal parts syrup and butter. Butter syrup combo with the starchiness.
If I'm going to eat something like that, I want all of that on there.
I want savory, sweet. I want starchy and all that. Here, my only big issue going there is the Suncoast. And almost every other Boyd casino, they see me coming. With the exception of a couple of nice video poker scores in that now not quite so new addition to the Fremont Casino, I just die at every Boyd casino. They see my money and they take it, and they are quick about it. So no more Boyds for me for a while.
Damn those video poker gods.
Oh, yeah. Not a lot of home cooking other than a dish that didn't involve a lot of cooking, mostly assembling spaghetti and meatballs using dried spaghetti, of course, from the cupboard, frozen meatballs from a bag I got at Sprouts. Very
Okay.
nice, organic, free-range, fair trade, whatever they were. They're microwaved to life. A jar of Rao's marinara.
I like Rao's, yeah.
You know, I spiced it up with a little red pepper flakes. It was still a little.
I'm gonna get. How do you pronounce that?
Rao's.
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 Nobody would pronounce it that way, but since I mean, if you don't know, if you've never met the family, but since I'm correcting you on pronunciations today, I just figured I'd be that dick twice.
I never had the courage to go to the Mafia original version up in Harlem.
Oh, I did once, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was a scene, man. It was
bet.
fun.
I did, however, during my time in the late 90s in New York, go to Elaine's once.
Ooh.
The famous
Oh,
celebrity
yeah.
place. I just had a drink at the bar and didn't see anybody, but it was hospitable, great bartender and all that, but it was too far up and out of my way. There was
They were
no
all
way I was
impressed
making
with
it.
your Halston dress and the people that you knew at Elaine's, man.
Oh, yeah, but anyway, kudos for Rao's for keeping the ingredients on the sauce pretty simple. Italian tomatoes, olive oil, onion, salt, garlic, basil, black pepper, and oregano. No high fructose corn syrup or other stuff. You know, after a childhood of Chef Boyardee in the can, even that kind of bland version of marinara is pretty darn good for an impromptu what's-on-hand meal. So, and I got these 2 big jars clamped together with a big plastic thing on top at Costco. Been doing a lot of Costco shopping. This is, you know, sort of rebuilding my COVID war chest for the Trump apocalypse.
Whatever's coming next.
Coming,
Right.
yeah,
for it, man.
exactly. Just want to have some stuff on hand.
Yeah, I
You
don't
know,
know.
supply chains.
I'm just pricing
Anyway.
real estate in other countries.
Maybe one of those €1 houses
True
in a
story,
village in
yes.
Sicily. You could
Yeah.
probably get right of return and go to
I
Italy.
could definitely. I know. I do get the right of return in Italy. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
I'm Swedish and Norwegian. They don't want us at all.
Don't bring any lutefisk.
I missed that this year.
So my turn. What have I been eating?
Yeah.
What have you
I
been eating?
Drinking. What have I been doing? Let's see. Okay, Sue wanted to go out for a bite at the bar after work this week, and we landed at the Black Sheep. Now, look, I'm going to start this with, I'm a huge fan of Jamie Tran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the food at the Black Sheep. I love the restaurant itself. I had a somewhat below expected experience, but
Yeah.
they were clearly overworked.
Okay.
I feel like whoever was behind the bar was also working tables out front,
Oh,
right?
goodness,
So,
okay.
you know, you
Yeah.
realize when that happens, and, you know, it's basically, you know, what are you going to do? For me, when they're in that situation, how soon do they acknowledge it and
Right.
just apologize?
Right.
And maybe that makes me a dick, but as a customer, I want an acknowledgement that this is not how we normally
Yeah.
operate.
Yeah.
And I didn't really get that till the end, so I was getting like just a little
Yeah.
Karen-ish. I was turning into a bit of a Karen. And, you know, and it's a shame, but, you know, I got to tell you that's what I felt like that particular night.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did I eat? I'm sorry, I've got my notes here. Sorry, I'm not even looking at the notes, right? Because I'm just sort of like, I'm reluctant because
Yeah.
I love the restaurant
Of
so
course.
much.
Yeah,
and I don't want
yeah.
to say bad things, but it was rough. They were having a rough night on service
Yeah.
that night. We did the salmon skin tacos. I've been eating them since they were entered in a taco competition. I like them quite a bit. Super unique dish. I mean, I know unique. You can't be more unique than somebody else, but whatever. I don't want to give Rich
Thank
that
you.
chance
I
to
was going
get
to say
back
that was
at
going to
me.
be my jump in on the grammar today.
Yeah.
But they're a unique dish, and I do like them. They were a little spicy for me this time, but
Okay.
everybody knows I'm a pussy with regard to spice. So
Yeah, you don't do a lot of that.
No. Also, Sue ordered the lamb dumplings. Fantastic.
Ooh.
But they were very hot for me.
Okay.
Way too hot. And then Sue and I were kind of torn on the onion soup.
Okay.
Because the onion soup is French onion soup, but it's not really what you expect with the cheese overflowing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it is the broth and then kind of a French pastry semi-floating on top, like
Okay.
a puff pastry.
Okay.
And I liked it a lot. It felt like a really well-made pastry. Even
Yeah.
as it was absorbing the soup, you could kind of feel the layers of the
Yeah.
of the puff pastry. So I really, really enjoyed it. Sue was like, you know, it'd be nice if I had like
Was
a big
it like a
thing of
gougere?
cheese.
Did it
Little
have,
Gruyere on
did it have
top?
any cheese inside? Was it that
I think
kind
there
of?
was a little bit of cheese in
Okay.
there, but not a lot. It was
Okay.
just not a big, you know, stuff. But I thought it was really, really fucking
Okay.
good. And whoever's doing their pastries there, fantastic. So, look, service issues are service issues. They happen from time to time.
do.
This is still a fantastic restaurant, and you've got to love Jamie Tran. I mean, you know, a
Yes.
celebrity chef. For the last
Reluctant
7
celebrity chef, as I
Yeah.
recall.
Well, she goes on the shows.
Yeah.
She does, but
I mean, nobody grabs you off the street and takes you to Top Chef, you know?
I'm still mad that
She lost.
She didn't lose.
Yeah.
She stepped up for somebody else,
'Cause
and
she's
they
so
shouldn't
nice.
have let her.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I admit I have a chip on my shoulder for that other chef. So
yeah.
But I mean, the truth of the matter is, if she's been operating in the burbs since way longer
Yeah,
than
it's
any
been a
other
long
celebrity
time.
chefs are even considering it. Maybe Andre Rochat, but not
Yeah.
a lot of other people. So we love her, and I will overlook one bad night of bad
Yeah.
service. I mentioned to you last week that I was going to be spending a little bit of time with Christopher Kimball.
yeah, I'm excited to hear about this.
So it wasn't really a little bit of time. We spent 2 days together recording an episode of his Milk Street Radio podcast.
Okay.
And I had a fucking blast, man. If you check out my social media feeds, you'll see photos of us together at Atomic Liquor, at China Club in the Fountain Blue, at Stray Pirate in the Arts District. Once that episode comes out, I think it'll be around March 30th. We talk about a lot more places, a lot of my
cool.
favorite spots. We talk about the Rat Pack. We talk about, it's just
Yeah.
a fun episode.
Love it.
I love hanging out with Chris, so I was super excited to do that. And it was kind of funny because we were wrapping up the final shoot, and we were at Stray Pirate, and Mr. Kimball asked me, like, yeah, where can I go for lunch, And I threw out 3 or 4 places, and it's tough when you're dealing. I'd already given him 100
I was
restaurant
gonna say.
recommendations over the 2 days, and then suddenly somebody, I don't know if it was Tater, but somebody at Stray Pirate brought up Stay Tuned Burgers.
Oh yeah.
At the Hard Hat Lounge.
Oh, that sounds good.
So I don't think Chris went over there, but I did on my way home because I was
Yes.
fucking craving them. And man, Stay Tuned Burgers, it's great. Huge lunch crowd when I went in there. I was very happy that they're doing well in the Hard Hat Lounge over just outside the Arts District.
Yeah.
Some of the best hamburgers in Vegas, especially if you like a smash burger, and I do. And it was fantastic. So rock on. I love you guys. Sue's birthday was this past weekend.
Happy birthday, Sue.
Happy birthday. Yeah, there you go. That's all you get from me, baby. I love you, but I know you don't want to hear that fucking song again. We usually go to a nice steakhouse on her birthday because she likes steakhouses more than I do.
Yeah.
And she's not as obsessed with like the nose print on the birth
Sure.
certificate as I am.
Yeah.
So this year we went to Ocean Prime.
Okay.
And we had an amazing night. I mean, look, I'll tell you the real story. I thought we still had a lot of gift cards
Oh, I
left
remember
over,
that,
right?
yeah.
And but then when we booked it, they knew it was Sue's birthday, so they ended up comping half the meal
Oh,
anyway.
wow.
So I want to thank them for that. I didn't use the
Absolutely.
gift cards. I can still go back and use the gift cards.
Ooh.
So that was
That's
really,
good because
really
I still
nice.
need to go to brunch, so let's go.
Okay, yeah, we'll go there. But yeah, so it was fantastic, man. We loved it. I mean, Sue was just saying it's one of the best meals out she's had in a really long
Yeah.
time. We loved the atmosphere at Ocean Prime. We loved our server, who was absolutely fantastic. Sue thanked him by name on her Facebook post, but I don't know who that. I don't remember his name. I apologize. And the food was great.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a little bit about it when I get into my dishes, but we did lobster bisque and it was poured tableside.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Sue had a house salad. She did 2 double cut lamb chops of willow blend lamb with roasted garlic and thyme jus. That was really good. She loved it. She had that with some garlic mashed potatoes, some asparagus with the hollandaise on the side. I like Ocean Prime because, man, I'm getting a buzzing in my ears. You guys, am I buzzing anybody else's
No.
ears?
Nope,
It's probably
nope.
these shitty headphones that I brought.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure I wasn't buzzing any of y'all. I like Ocean Prime because we have a lot of good seafood restaurants in Las Vegas, but they tend to be sort of niche seafood restaurants. Like you go to Milos and it's all about the fish done very simply. They're very ingredient only driven, not very chef centered. And they tend to also be, it's a Greek seafood restaurant or it's an Italian
Right.
seafood restaurant, right?
That's a good point.
Stuff like that. So Ocean Prime, I love for their seafood, and they're on the Neon Feast list as a best seafood restaurant in
Yeah.
Las Vegas because they still do composed seafood dishes, right?
Yeah.
Like where they actually put together a seafood
Yeah.
dish, right? So I did blackened snapper, came over corn spoon bread, which is like a really cool kind of cornbread at
Yeah.
the bottom, and then topped with then corn emulsion. And I am a sucker for anybody that cooks with corn and brings out that natural sugar from corn. I love that flavor. And this was great. The blackened wasn't too much on the fish. They just worked together really, really well. Then some Swiss chard on the side. And man, so much flavor the way they sauteed up this Swiss chard. It reminded me of when you go to a good barbecue restaurant and get their collard greens,
Oh, my
right?
God.
And I mean, there were red peppers in there and all kinds of shit. A lot of flavors banging together. Great way to get your greens. love those guys. Love you guys at Ocean Prime.
That's
and
amazing.
Thanks for helping Sue have a happy birthday, and thank you for comping a whole bunch of it, because that's always, I wasn't there for work, but
Right.
that was very nice of you guys.
That's awesome.
The Aces and Ales team has a new brewery.
Oh, I'm so excited about this.
This is called Evolve Brewing by Aces and Ales. It's in the Bend near the IKEA. You know where that is.
Yep.
I was there for the grand opening, and I'm going to play an interview with Keri, Kelli, and their chef during the news portion of this episode.
Yeah.
But I also went back on Saturday night. I was pre-gaming before heading to the Fortress to watch the VGK beat Vancouver.
All right.
I got there. I saw Las Vegas Phil and his wife
Oh, yeah.
sitting
Hey,
there.
Phil.
They were actually just hanging out socially. Sue
Yeah.
and I were just there socially.
That's awesome.
That's a good sign, right?
yeah.
Like when people are coming in who write about food for a living, and in our downtime when we want to be
And
with
you're
the people
still
we
there?
love, we're
Yes.
still in your place. So, yeah, that was really fantastic. Hey, some food's arriving here.
Oh,
Oh,
my
baby.
God.
So we're going to talk about this in 1 second. Let me finish
Yeah.
telling you what I had at Aces and Ales. Rich, you get the notes on that food there.
Some,
Okay.
yeah,
So-
breakfasty thing. Fried French toast.
Fried French toast
Deep
just
fried
got brought.
French toast.
Deep fried French
Oh,
toast.
deep fried
that
French
one's
toast,
going on the
that's insane.
gram.
The other one looks like my pot roast French dip.
Yeah, that's your French dip over there.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
Let me just get back to Aces and Ales. My first bites of the food, I actually had a French dip there that was fucking excellent. It came with great onion rings. The burger was good. I liked the blend of meat on the patty. But the meatloaf sandwich arrived. That's for me, baby.
Yeah.
Woo, I
Got
love this
room for it
meatloaf
over
sandwich.
there?
That is straight up for
Yeah.
him.
Thank you. No, I think we're good on plates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just share.
We'll probably
ourselves.
need
We'll pass
boxes
around.
or 5 by the time we leave here.
So that basically.
Yes, more Coke
Okay.
Zero. There's no such thing as too much Coke Zero.
Coke Zero.
And somebody that has Coke Zero on the fountain, I love them forever. All right, sorry, get back to
Now,
Aces and
finally,
Ales.
The burger
Boom.
at Aces and Ales,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I liked the blend on the meat. It's
Okay.
clearly that they make their own blend, and it tasted very good. Just the burger itself, the way it was assembled, it was certainly not a smash burger. It was not a steak burger, pub burger.
Okay.
It was, even though they have their own proprietary blend, I believe, on the meat, and I don't know if they grind it themselves or get it from a butcher that way. I
Right.
didn't ask, but their kitchen's huge there.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, it's that, this is a demeaning way to put it, but that hockey puck kind of patty?
Yeah.
Right? Like, so they've got a great blend of meat, but it's done sort of in the hockey puck kind
Got
of patty
it.
format, which is going to take a little bit away from it, for me, because it's just not the way that I like my
Yeah.
patties made. But really good food. So I'm digging that. We're going to talk more about what happened at Aces and Ales. Right now,
You need to take a bite of that.
Yeah, I have. And
Yeah.
we'll talk about what's arrived, and if you guys want to take a bite before we cut to our break,
That's right. Hold that up.
yeah, let me hold this
Yeah.
up for the picture.
Oh, Lordy. Yeah.
We're doing a photo shoot now, people. Don't worry about it. I like this meatloaf sandwich, and I'm going to take a bite of it on the air, but I've been eating this sandwich since they were doing their test presentations
Yes.
for this restaurant at the Vegas Test Kitchen.
Yep.
Had it there. I had it across the street at the Hunt Ridge in the parking lot
Yep.
when the Hunt Ridge did its grand
Yep.
we have new owners party.
Yeah.
I love this meatloaf sandwich. It's fantastic with this. What is that? Like a bacon jam on the
That's
top?
what it looks like.
Yeah, so good. I mean, kind of just on toasted Wonder Bread.
All right.
Mashed potatoes.
I
I
love
forgot
it.
to tell you about
Yeah.
the mashed potatoes that are slathered
Yeah.
Oh, good.
on it. That's
Priamati
really
style.
good. Somebody want to take us out of
Yeah,
here?
let's do
Yeah.
it. Coming up in the news, Al speaks with Keri, Kelli at the opening of Evolve Brewing by Aces and Ales, as we just mentioned, and Rich speaks to Ken Heck at the official grand opening of Hot Noods in the remodeled El Cortez.
And we have a couple other great news stories
We
I should
do.
mention coming up. Yeah. Something very, very important I want you guys to hang on for if you're in the music, or if you're in the food industry, about mental health care.
Yes.
That's a really important story that I want to let you guys know about. So hang on.
Yeah.
Make sure you check that out. Very important to people in the food and beverage industry.
Absolutely.
I guess that's about it for now.
Yeah.
What is this?
This is Food and Loathing.
Very good.
Finally, we've got Mallory Gott, we've got Aaron Lee sitting down with us. We are, of course, as we've been telling you, at Winnie and Ethel's. Only 15 months,
Only 15 months.
and yet
and yet only 15 months. I used to be a young lady with all brown hair. Not so much anymore.
So if it was a baby, it would be about 6 months old right
Yeah,
now after the
I like
9
it.
months of
I like it.
gestation.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So.
And so, of course, we know about you because we started about from a contest. You got this idea. Did you have the idea before the contest, or did you see the contest and say, fuck it, we're going to go for it?
We actually did a little bit of both. So this is a truth story. So Aaron and I live in the neighborhood right behind where the diner's located, and we have for a while. And during our courtship, because we're married, at one point we talked about we wanted to do something, open something together, and we were joking around one night, honest to goodness, right here on the corner of Maryland and Charleston, and we were like, what if we did Chuck McFratter's Downtown Diner, because there was a song on by that artist. It's an artist from the 40s and 50s. And that was probably about 2 or 3 months before we saw the contest concept or the contest announcement. So when we found it, it was like, no way. Really? Yeah. No way. Like on the exact same corner that we talked about it. And so, we obviously have tweaked the name a little bit, but it came to fruition, and now here we sit many, many months later. And
so I want to tie two things together because we're in a very 30s, 40s, 50s decades sort of decorated place.
Yeah.
You said the artist that you were listening to at the time was from the 40s and 50s.
Correct.
So
And we just heard Leader of the Pack.
I know, right? So was that always the intention to have this kind of vibe?
I think so, honestly. I'm trying to.
Because these are two very old school concepts that I wouldn't think of automatically tying together.
Yeah.
And the music just adds to it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when we were planning on doing something, we just wanted to do something different that, there's a lot of people that do 40s diners, obviously, but I don't think you see them around as much. You see more of the 50s. And
the 50, especially here because I know we talked about, number one, the Rat Pack gets its dues all the time, right?
Yep.
And so the 50s and then the 60s that's what people think of when they think of Vegas a lot, or vintage Vegas. But this part of the city, the Hunt Ridge Theater, the Hunt Ridge neighborhood, that stuff all came onto the scene in the 1940s. It was kind of like World War II and post-World War II. And so that was definitely a big part of it. And then I know for Aaron, well, I'll let you talk about the food because we both know I'm not a chef. But I think there was a lot of allure to doing some of the really classic stuff. I mean, we tried to leave the weird stuff back in the 40s, but there, like the cocktail Jello with shrimp in it or whatever.
Aspics and jellies and
exactly. Yeah, but I know he did a lot of research and really tried to cherry pick some of the things that were very popular then, still known now, but definitely less common on people's menus. So,
we mentioned the contest, right? Mm-hmm. And of course, if not everybody knows what we're talking about. It was a specific, I guess, and I'm going to ask you guys how you heard about it, but the developer, Jay Dapper, who's renovating across the street, who owns this center that we're in right now, I remember when he sent out a press release, it said he was looking for people to come up with a diner concept that reminded him of Vegas in his youth. Mm-hmm. And there's a big contest. You all got to try it out over at the Vegas Test Kitchen and all that. Yep. That's the first time I ate that meatloaf sandwich, which I'm digging into right now, which I fucking love. But so when you heard about this contest, what was the mission for you, right? How did you see the assignment?
I think when Mallory actually heard about it first, I think, was there like
I found it just
a billboard or
no,
not
it
a billboard,
was
a sign?
It was a news clipping, not a news clip. God, now I sound like I'm from the 19. There was a news clipping.
It was in a newsreel
before the black and white film. No, I came up on my news feed, is what I meant to say, and that's how I heard about it. So then from there. Well, I mean,
Yeah, I think it just really built on us. We started just, planning it, and then I think it really took over once we dove a little deeper into it.
Yeah, for us, I feel like because we tried so I'm a real stickler for rules and process and stuff. So when we looked at the initial kind of press release and then the website about it, I made my nice list of everything that needed to be included in whatever we submitted. And then from there, we really did. We started looking at the areas from the 1940s. We live in the area. We know the Hunt Ridge Theater is right across the street. We want to make sure that it's not a huge departure from what is the core essence of how this neighborhood came into existence. So that played a huge part. And then I know, honestly, you would probably laugh if you looked at our pitch now, because I definitely did. It was like mom and pop for real, like not contrived mom and pop. I mean, we put together a stylized Google document, and like Aaron made sure, he was like, we got to cook real food and we got to photograph real food. And so we were actually at his parents' house up in Reno, and we were like doing a food photo shoot, like in their bathroom and in their living, like trying to, but the food was real. Like it was the real stuff that he cooked, and, and it was, and we told the story about like who we were and why we wanted to do it. And, obviously it struck some sort of a chord, because we were up there with a lot of other folks who I know were very talented. And we were the only people that got into the finals that hadn't operated a restaurant of some sort before, or a coffee shop or a cafe. So, we took our little spin on the assignment, like the nerd that I have been since I was a kid. And we're like, let's do a cool book report, and it seemed to work. So
Aaron, though, you were at Esther's Kitchen immediately before this, right? And could you talk about your background as a chef, where you've worked in this town before?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think I love James. I loved working at Esther's. It's probably the one restaurant that really built me and made me think about things more. And James has actually took a huge part of us winning the contest too. He let me use the kitchen to R&D after
amazing.
Service, and I was there at 1 a.m. making meatloaf and giving it to the dishwasher, seeing if they liked it, stuff like that. The meatloaf was the first thing we actually ever made.
Well, I'm glad to see it's still on the menu. Tell me about this deep fried French toast that I'm cooking at right now. Oh my God,
that's so good.
So it is what it says. It's a deep fried French toast, and we put a little bit of lemon butter and lemon just to cut through all that.
The citrus is so good.
The fryness, and it's so simple.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing,
It's.
But it's just like a lot of cinnamon sugar, a nice coating on the outside.
And what is in this sauce?
And so this is called Steen's cane syrup.
Okay.
And so this comes from Louisiana, and instead of maple syrup, it is
I like that so much
made
more.
with cane sugar, and it has a little different aftertaste.
Yeah.
Wow. But,
and then there's almost like a savoriness to it that doesn't have that cloying sweet that I sometimes get from maple products.
Yeah.
And with the lemon, and then you get that extra level of crispy on the outside of the bread because you've now fried it.
Yep.
I don't even usually eat that much bread, but this is fantastic.
Awesome.
Like,
yeah. No, I
fuck
mean
the pancakes we were talking about earlier. Eat this.
Yeah,
I thought it was cool. But yeah, just super simple, but just great and well done, or made right. And
yeah, I was going to say that's been a lot of what we've done since the very beginning. Again, me not being the food person, but I know Aaron's been a real stickler about that since the beginning. Simple and classic, like one of the things I tell people when I do my spiel at a table is that, we make American comfort food. You're going to recognize everything on our menu. You don't need a dictionary. You don't need a translation app, because like some places, fine cuisine, you're getting French terminology, you're getting Italian, and that's perfect in those places. For us, the secret sauce is that he is using really good ingredients, and he and the team in the back are taking the time to prepare things really well and make sure that everything comes out made correctly. And that, like, it, again, for what we do, it is perfect. It doesn't need to be super high fine dining, but it is the time that it takes to make it well consistently, day in and day out. And I think they really knock it out of the park with that.
Did you know for a long time that you wanted to do something like that with the clean, well done American classics?
I think so. I mean, I've always just had a love for that kind of food, and my mother, she'd always just make home comfort food.
And your family's roots run deep in this. The name itself came from family members, right?
Correct, yeah. So this, Winnie is my grandmother, and Ethel is Mallory's great-grandmother.
Yep.
And, I mean, my family is not any different than any other family, Like, food always brings people together, and every time our whole family went together, all my aunts and my grandmother and my mom, everyone goes all out with with the food. So, we try to bring that here too, and just have like, comforting meals that maybe reminds you of something in your past, or maybe it's just a good sandwich that you drove by, saw us, and you had a good sandwich, whatever. But
all of the above, man.
Yeah.
So you guys opened up. You've had actually. You know what I wanted to ask you before? Bottomless coffee. It's right up there on the wall, right?
Yes.
So sorry, that's what I was getting distracted by.
No.
I'm not a coffee drinker, right? But I know like a lot of people that are like, oh my God, they have bottomless coffee.
Yeah.
So it's good coffee, right? It's from some local producers. So for those who drink coffee, tell me about your coffee deal.
Yeah, so we have a couple of coffee deals. So we serve Mothership Roasters. For anyone who is not from Las Vegas that's listening, Mothership is a local roastery in town. It's woman-owned, and it is also very focused on sourcing from woman-owned growers and producers, which is awesome. They aren't just like very, focused on making sure women are represented in their business. They produce great product. Their coffee is all over the valley. It's in their own stores. It's other people's stores. I think it's even in a couple of big box I think Walmart carries it now, at least in Vegas. So they make a really good product. So we've worked with them and collaborated with them since we competed. And we offer that as a $5 cup every day, but backed by popular demand. Monday through Friday from 8 to 11, we have a 25-cent cup of just a house blend coffee. So that guy is also bottomless, and it's really a quarter. It's really a quarter. Now, the state of Nevada makes us add a little sales tax, so don't come in with just a quarter. It'll be like 30 cents or something. But, so we do both of those, and both of us felt really strongly that, A, we wanted to make sure people could come in here and have a diner experience of whatever days of yore you want to think about.
Yeah.
But, you sit in the diner, you have a cup of coffee, you solve all of life's problems
Pretty
if
much.
that's what you need to do. And then B, we wanted to make sure that we had good coffee. So we have the Mothership product, and for people who are just like, hey, I just want to drink all the coffee that I can humanly fit in my body with the least amount of money, we have a house blend available Monday through Friday morning to get you going. So we got them both.
Awesome. What have you guys learned now? You're talking about 15
Al.
months, right? Like,
Oh, Al, so much.
what did you not know that you know now?
Everything. No, I for me, everything, because I didn't work in restaurants prior to this, but I'll let Aaron start because he definitely has much more of a background in the industry than I do. So
Yeah, I think what I learned is that every restaurant is different, and you need to look at it in that way. Some restaurants, I think that's the most that's what I learned. I'm
he's
sorry.
tired.
It's been a long day.
We've
Basically
also
saying
worked
running this is not the same as Esther's. It's a
No.
little
Correct.
different.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
just like, like the financials and stuff, I'm so used to working in restaurants where, the money was just flowing in all the time. And then when we opened, that wasn't necessarily the case.
Money wasn't just there.
And then, it was like, well, we need to tighten things up. And, to be honest, it took me and Mallory probably 5 or 6 months of, tightening things down and, realizing, things we want to put on the menu, if it's worth it, is it going to put us out of business or stuff like that. And, I think we've really reached a point where we're giving a really good product, and, we're still here, so.
For most of that time, you were operating breakfast and lunch only, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've had, and so I would say that's definitely something I've learned is how to adapt and evolve very fast. I came from a professional services background, and I thought I knew what it meant to move fast. And I don't mean just in day-to-day service. I mean, we've, one of the cool things about being independent owners is that we see something, we want to try it, and as fast as we're willing to activate it, it can be activated. So we started with some dinner service last year in, I think it was like maybe November of 23 to maybe April of 24. Then we pulled back on that. Then we did we dipped our toes back in the water again at the beginning of 2025. And we tried a few different things to kind of suss out what Aaron wanted to do food-wise. And then now we've had this really expansive growth that's happened in the last, honestly, in like the last month. And so we're back to breakfast and lunch only, just so that we can make sure for the time being, every new guest or every returning guest who comes in gets the same great experience that they had or that they have never had, when we were not super busy all day, every day. Because both of us want to make sure that sticks and stays. And then I think the idea is then to be able to, once again, revisit dinner service, add that in, and start to grow that piece as well. So, yeah, it's as far as learning goes, there's been a whole lot of it. I mean, we could get into all the ins and outs of what it takes to actually operate a restaurant, which I did not know, but definitely being adaptable and frankly, having a lot of humility, because I was really good at what I did in another world. And then I came into this world and I was like, well, I know how to run a business. I know how to, and I've had to eat a lot of slices of humble pie and learn how to operate a business in this industry, it's very, very unique. Yeah, if you're ever listening and you want to open a restaurant, you come to Winnie Ethel's and you find me. Let's have a real heart-to-heart.
And she'll tell you not to open a restaurant.
I will just tell you to be prepared for the magic of, I don't know how, I mean, honestly, I look back now and it is really amazing, and I don't say this for like playing people's heartstrings, but truly like how all of our personal bills and things have gotten paid in the first bit of time that we were operating. I really look back and I'm like, it's really amazing, because I think most people who would open an independent restaurant would tell you in the early days, like, it is no joke. You are working all the time and there is money coming in, but it is going out very fast. So I think both of us have had just a real, like, any success we have from this point forward, I'm so grateful, tremendously grateful, because it is hard. It is a hard thing to start.
So you mentioned you're learning these things, and you did sort of bring that into the fact that you mentioned even earlier about living in the neighborhood, trying to understand the neighborhood better. How do all those things come together and help you appreciate what's happening around you? How does that affect some of the stuff that you guys are doing now? How do you feel about the neighborhood and what it's been going through?
Yeah. Well, I love that my commute is very short. That's not a real answer. That's a cheater answer. No, you know what? I think both of us, well, I won't speak for Aaron. I love that this neighborhood has a really close-knit feel. When I first moved to Las Vegas, I lived in Henderson, which is a great community, but I came from a large city, and I wanted it to feel like a neighborhood, and so I moved down here. And that has been my experience since I moved down here about 8.5 years ago. I love that the neighborhood has, as far as my opinion, continued to retain a lot of its heart and soul. It is being rehabilitated, and I know there's a lot of kind of different opinions about if it's being gentrified to a point that is unsustainable for people who would have been here.
Live long enough and you'll have heard that argument about every damn neighborhood you like.
But
True story.
But I love that this area is getting is having a real renaissance, because the truth is that this was the core of the city. This part of the city was the city when it was in its early days, and so I'm glad that there are reasons, whether it's us or our neighbors, Yukon Pizza, or hopefully, the Hunt Ridge reopening. There are reasons for people who are either from this part of the city or who have never been down here to say, like, hey, what's going on down there? Like, we should come down and see this, because that history is something that people don't always get in this particular city in Las Vegas. So I love it. I'm happy about it.
We just got to the point with my app, Neon Feast, where we do a neighborhood recommendations for the Hunt Ridge neighborhood, because there's finally enough stuff.
Yeah.
There's a Tacos El Gordo here that's always been here. That's a local classic. You've got a great 5-star dive bar across the street in Jive Turkey.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Yukon Pizza is fantastic, as you said. Chef Letitia's got a seafood restaurant right down the street, not very far from here. I mean, there's a lot going on in this area, man, and you guys are a huge part of it. But I think this is going to be. I think people are going to be hanging here the way they're hanging in the Arts District right now. I think in 3 years from now, 4 years from now.
That's the hope. And I will say, again, I already had the disclaimer that I'm a nerd, so here comes more nerd stuff. But I do think it's cool, too, that the city has invested in the infrastructure here, Maryland Parkway, Charleston. They're doing some things with transit to try to make sure that it is up to, modern standards, and that people can get around easily down here, or more easily, I should say. So I think that's wonderful, too, because, you can't just drop businesses in and have no infrastructure.
Right.
If that doesn't come, it makes it difficult for people to come down here and feel like they can move around easily. So I'm glad to see that too. I think that's wonderful, and I hope it continues.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any special events coming up we should tell people about, or any news you need to break before we wind down here?
I think stay tuned for what will eventually be bringing night service back. I can't say that we have a date. I would love to be like, this date, breaking out, breaking live. But I know that that's something Aaron definitely wants to do, and I'm 100% in his corner on that one as well. And other than that, we hope people, like you said, people give this neighborhood a chance, be the early adopters, so that you can say you were here before it got trendy.
You can complain about the people when they show up.
We can
and
be
then-
the Winnie and Ethel's hipsters.
Yeah, that's right.
Then when a celebrity chef comes down
That's
here,
right.
you can all shake your
That's
fists
right.
at him, man.
That's
Yeah.
right. No, but and we always just as much as we're able to do different things throughout the year, we try to do that. I don't know when this is going to go up, but I know Aaron will pull out all the stops for St. Patrick's Day weekend. So we'll do like the corned beef and cabbage and all that stuff. So we try to make sure it's got its own little special stuff, even if you're just coming in the diner for a regular everyday meal. We try to hit the highlights. So.
Well, because we are talking about food, I want to get one more question in there. You did just mention maybe something for St. Patrick's Day. Are there new things on the menu that people should be looking for?
Yes. So I think maybe every 2 or 3 months we usually either switch out our French toast or our pancakes. Right now, you guys already tried the fried French toast.
So good.
Hell yeah.
You brought the Nutter Butter back.
We brought the Nutter Butter back.
Okay.
That was, I think that might have been the second thing we've ever
What was
made
the
for
Nutter
restaurant.
Butter? Because that sounds familiar, but I'm drawing a blank.
So it's just a peanut butter stuffed French toast, and then we caramelize a banana and put Nutter Butter cookies on top.
Damn.
Super simple, but it's very sweet. And
Delightful.
delicious.
Delightful.
I had guests
Very
once,
good.
and one of them has a very, very sweet tooth, and first thing he went for, and then he got a boozy shake to go with it, and it was perfect.
Nice.
Cool. Well, guys, man, thanks so much for having us. Thanks for hosting us here today. We're going to wrap up with a little news in a second, but, man, we're going to be stuffing our faces all through that because this is delicious, man. Everything you brought over has been delicious. We're having
fantastic.
a great time.
Thank you.
So thank you guys very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah,
for coming.
thank you guys so much.
Always.
Yeah.
The news is next. This is Food and Loathing.
That was already eating. They were already eating. I love it. I love it.
By now, you know about Neon Feast, the app that serves up Las Vegas restaurant recommendations, not from self-appointed influencers hustling for free meals or flame from disgruntled diners. Neon Feast gives you suggestions based on our conversations with Vegas restaurant pros, the chefs, managers, owners, writers, bloggers, and others who make this industry great. What kind of food do you want? What part of the valley? How much to spend? What's the occasion? Ask Neon Feast and get the answers. Also check for restaurant news and in-depth features at Neon News. We have you covered with the Neon Feast app and neonfeast.com. And for restaurant news you can use, neonnews.vegas. It's time for the news, and I'm going to kick it off this week because I had the great fun of going to Hot Noods, which is
I just love the name.
the great place for noodles inside the new addition to the El Cortez Casino. I was there for the grand opening of both and talked to co-owner Ken Heck.
How do I feel? Frazzled, but I'm really excited and honestly just extremely grateful. The El Cortez family and especially Kenny Epstein has been so kind, and they've welcomed me and my family in so beautifully. We don't know enough words to say thank you.
You're the owner. You're supposed to be out here being hospitable, but you're working the line.
Look how many people came charging through the door. It doesn't matter if I overstaff by double, there's not enough people to handle this crowd, and I couldn't be happier.
All right, so we are, I don't want to say ever past the sadness of the demise of Chinglish, but it's got to feel real good to get this thing going.
Chinglish was a passion project, and I'm very sad that it didn't survive. The best bar, the best Peking duck, the best everything, but we got resurrected by Kenny. Kenny Epstein came to us before Chinglish was closed, and he said, Kenny, baby, I need your food. I said, come on, Ken, we're closing down here. Give me a minute. And he goes, no, I need your food. Get you and your family in here. We love you, we need you, we want you. And we told him no twice. And he finally came back for lunch the third time. He goes, people don't usually tell me no. And I said, what do you tell him? He goes, get your ass in my casino and serve some good food. I said, okay, but Chinglish isn't going to fly in the El Cortez. I got something a little crazier that Kitty, my wife, has been talking about. And this logo, this name, this concept, she has been called for years the Noodle Queen, because she works out with her trainer, she works out with her friends at the gym, but then she goes and eats noodles while they're all eating, protein shakes and tofu and salads. My wife has always loved noodles, so this is for her.
All right, in a nutshell, describe this menu. You got all the dishes out here on display.
So let's walk down the line. We got Mom's cucumber salad and Mom's dumplings. All of that is handmade by Mom, no joke. And if you ate at Chinglish, these are here for you. We have chicken karaage, which is a Japanese style. Dad being a chef all over Asia. He cooked in Beijing, Hong Kong, Taiwan, in Manila. He was all over the Southeast Asia. He has a lot of recipes. These are Dad's chicken wings. These are my Brussels sprouts. Mom's egg rolls. My wife's soft shell crab and shrimp. This is edamame with a butter garlic sauce. And people love edamame with salt. Wait till you try it this way. Dad's green beans, and here comes the tonkatsu. This is the number one dish I think we're gonna have here, which is a pork tonkatsu broth with pork chashu on the side. And we've got shoyu ramen. We've got a creamy vegan vegetarian ramen, beautiful with the tempura udon. And then we've got the Chinglish dishes you're used to, like Dad's chow mein. We added Dad's pad thai. Dad spent some time studying with some Thai chefs. And then we're back to some pork chashu, a beef bowl, and Dad's shrimp fried rice. And this is just what we're opening with. Give us 2 months to get our legs underneath us, and we're going to keep varying this menu. But the trick and the key to all of this is the beer, the soju, the sake, and the sake bombs.
And something to assuage your losses out of the slot machines.
I don't think I'm going to have it. This place is going to keep me so busy, I don't think I'm going to have time.
That was the Imperial your. What by your, I meant mine.
Well, this is a good place to go, I guess, soak your sorrows. It's going to be loud, it's going to be fun, there's going to be good music, loud music, sake bombs, music videos, and real fun people running around.
Now, despite Ken's description, this is not a fancy club-esque place. It's a traditional, modest-looking Asian restaurant, basic tables and chairs, wonderful neon art on the wall from Yesco. It's the dominant decor. And
the logo's cool, right? That
yeah.
logo's like a mudflap girl.
Yeah, and there's a couple of other pieces in there that complement that are just as cool.
That's great.
Prices are casino reasonable. The most expensive item, the tempura udon, a mere $20. Apps range from 7 to 12. It's an all-day affair. Hot Noods open inside the El Cortez, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day.
Cool. And as I mentioned, I was at the grand opening for Evolve Brewing by Aces and Ales last week. Really great event, really huge place. We talked about me dining there earlier in the show. It's got a big industrial feel. It's fucking massive. It's in the Bend. I just absolutely love it. I sat down with Keri Kelli, and I don't know if you guys know Kelli, but he's a musician who founded Aces and Ales. He's playing with the band Night Ranger right now. And we sat down, and we began with me asking him how it felt to open this brewery, which is his first.
Man, I'm feeling great, man. I mean, this project is it's been a long time coming, a labor of love, man. But we've crossed the finish line, and we're so proud to and thrilled to have this location open to the people here in the Southwest at the Bend, and not just the Southwest, all of the Vegas Valley, man. So we're into it, man. We're pumped.
Look, you are an OG of the Vegas craft brewing scene. You actually were not a brewer to start. Of course, you're a musician that ran a great craft beer bar in Aces and Ales. And when I moved to Las Vegas, I mean, Aces and Ales was one of the few people doing that. So it seems very appropriate that this place is called Evolve, because the craft beer scene has evolved. How have both the scene and Aces and Ales evolved since you opened? And how long has it been, by the way?
Great questions. We started 16 years ago, believe it or not. And the reason why we did it, I'm actually from Southern California. My partner is from Vegas here, and we're best friends. And we used to come here, and there was really no craft beer back then. And so we go, let's open a place, man, and bring the great brands that we like from our friends out to the people of Vegas. And just that's what we did. And there was nobody else doing it. And it was a labor of love just to bring great beer to the people. And that's what we did. Then we got the second location over on Tenaya Way. And we had some great friends over there, the Tenaya Creek Brewing Company. And we developed, and now, of course, there's many more breweries that have come in and evolved, as you said. And I think we really helped pave the way. I'm not trying to say that we are OGs, but we definitely help facilitate the market. And I think it's great. The market has evolved. I think we're still a little bit behind a lot of other places, but I mean, we're kicking and screaming, kicking the walls down, trying to make it happen here. And like I said, we're very proud to have this new location, Evolve Brewing by Aces and Ales, brewing our own beers finally, and doing collaborations with a lot of our friends, local companies and companies in Southern California, which is actually where I reside. And it's just an awesome feeling, and the community is really filled with love. People that are into craft beer are just, they do it for the love, and that's really what it's all about,
How many beers are you carrying here at any given time, and how many of them are brewed in-house?
So we have 24 lines over here, and right now we've got, I believe we have 11 beers on that are ours or collaborations. Like I said, we did with some other companies in California and or Vegas here. But we're hoping to ramp it up a little bit more, and hopefully we can get into the ballpark of 16 or 17 if we're lucky of ours, and then have some other guest taps that are other friends, companies that we think are just great brands and great tasting, superior, world-class craft beer.
Aces and Ales has always been known for having better food than your typical beer bar, your typical place that you just go to drink. As a matter of fact, I've brought some show producers from Hollywood in just to show them when they were looking for places to shoot, because your food has always been above the crowd. Are you notching it up more for this location? What's the food going to be like?
Yeah, absolutely. And that is true. We've always tried it. As I said, the first location, which is on Nellis 16 years ago, we always strive to have much better elevated, gastropub, bar food. Everything pretty much made from scratch. And that was from day one, which was unheard of. Most places are just grabbing free. We barely even have a freezer over here because we just do not do that. Even at our other locations. So yeah, we always wanted to have elevated food. Over here, we're bringing it even stronger. Our new head chef Krystal is amazing. We have entrees that are on over here, ribeyes and things like that. So it's definitely a step up from our other locations. But still, all made in house. Basically everything is scratch, and we just want to deliver great products to the people. World-class craft beer and food.
Okay, I live half a mile from here, so this is the important question. Will Golden Knights games be showing here? Can I assume that if there's a game on TV, I'll find it here?
Oh, my God. Come on. Of course, man. Golden Knights. That's our team. No, we have a Golden Knights buzzer. We have the Golden Knights intro. We have everything, man. We run it all. And yeah.
All the other local teams?
Absolutely. We just, like I said, this place is designed, for people just to have experience great times, connections, and just a vibe where everybody can hang out and, like I said, have great products, food and beverage, and watch entertainment, of course, which, like you said, the Knights. But yeah, go Knights, come on.
Cool. Well, congratulations. You out on the road these days, man? You performing? I know a lot of people may not know that you're a rock star in your own right.
Yeah, man. To be honest, I just got back. We were just down in Puerto Rico playing. And I just got back this weekend and with Night Ranger, my band Night Ranger, and I've been playing with Night Ranger now for 13 years. Before that, I played with Alice Cooper and Slash as well. But Yeah, I mean, we're still out there hitting it, man. It's Sister Christian, we're motoring it. It's the gift that keeps on giving, man.
Well, I don't think I have enough cocaine for Sister Christian right now. Anybody that saw the movie knows what I'm talking about. But you know what, man? They're still rocking America, right, my friend?
Absolutely, man. And we're hitting it next week, man. Unfortunately, I got to leave you guys here in Vegas for a little bit, but we're going back on the road. But yeah, you can still rock in America 100%.
I also spoke to executive chef Krystal Meza. I began by asking her what people should expect from the food.
Delicious, quick food, quick bites, salty to go with your beer.
Okay, cool. How difficult or easy was it to create a menu to complement the beers that are on tap here? Were there specific challenges in that?
Honestly, it was pretty easy. A lot of the menus were passed down recipes from a previous chef, so just tweaking them up, but also incorporating the beer into our beer batter or our beer cheese, our barbecue sauce.
If I come in here and try something new, will I see it at the other locations?
For right now, we're not having any of the new items over there, but eventually I do want to take some of the new items, especially like our premium sides, Brussels sprouts, the veggie blends, stuff like that, so people can have options, some veggie options also.
And finally, at least finally for me, and this is one I hope everybody who works in a restaurant, who has a loved one who works in a restaurant, is listening. I hope you hung on this long. Mark Shunock held a press conference yesterday that everybody in the yesterday as we record this, that everybody in the hospitality industry really needs to know about. And if you don't know Mark Shunock, he's the voice of the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yep.
He was in the show Rock of Ages. I mean, he's a great performer. He does Monday's Dark at the Space, raises a lot of fucking money, raised a lot of fucking money during COVID. He is a great guy. And he's very concerned with mental health activism. And I've known this for a while. I know he's worked with like Brian Howard and, and people like that. So he held this press conference, and I was like, am I even going to go to this thing? I mean, I like Mark.
Yeah, of course.
He came to one of my events once, so I feel like I should go to his event. But I didn't know. They didn't tell you what they were going to announce, right? Like, nobody was telling you, and I didn't look into it. So finally, I said, yeah, I'll go. I like Mark. It's great. And I get there. I'm like, hey, what are you guys going to announce today? Because I'm here, and I don't really know. Do I need to get ready and record shit or what?
Right.
And what they announced, this is fantastic. We were on the corner of Polaris and Harmon, right there behind
that industrial area that he found.
Yeah. We are in an empty lot, and that's the lot that they are going to develop into the Space 2.0. The Space is a performance area that we have right now, and they do a lot of cool things in there. But they are creating the Space 2.0. It's a $50 million fucking project.
Wow.
So right now they're still in fundraising.
Yep.
Okay. But this is a place where they're going to be willing to do mental health care for people in the hospitality industry, for people in the entertainment industry like Mark, also for first responders, also for students and teachers from the school district. So this is a place where people can go. Now, look, you guys know, if you work in the restaurant business, you know it's a dirty little not so secret that we lose a lot of people to mental health issues. I should say we because I report on it, but you know, and these people are friends of mine as much as they are friends of yours. Mental health's taken a huge, huge toll on this industry. I think it's really important that Mark is doing this. And so I not only did that, and Annette Bening showed up.
I saw that.
That was fucking cool,
Yeah.
man. And there's some kind of industry, like entertainment industry support group that had offices in LA and New York, and they're going to actually move that to Vegas, and they're going to put it in this building. So lots of really, really cool shit. And then basically I sat down with Mark Shunock. Could you explain to my podcast listeners what the Space 2.0 is, very simply?
It's a home for anybody who works in hospitality, entertainment, first responders, veterans, public education, teachers, and students to go and get help. It's all about wellness and mental health. We're putting that at the forefront. And if you work in one of those avenues that I just mentioned, you now have a place a block off the strip to go and get help.
My listeners are mostly concerned with the restaurant industry. That world obviously has a lot of need for mental health support. So I was thrilled to hear you say that you're going to be, supporting that world as well. Do you have any partners from the restauant world or anybody you've been working with on that?
Not yet, but we want them all, right? Listen, we make it easy. You can put literally a listing back of house on that corkboard that we're all accustomed to. So when you come into the restaurant or the bar or your nightclub to start the shift, If you need help, the space is a block away. I don't care if you're a bar back, a busser, a bartender, a cocktail server, a chef, sous chef. It doesn't matter. If you work in hospitality, you're now going to have a place to go, a block off the strip, to get the help and support that you need.
I think you and I have known so many people in hospitality and entertainment, whatever. We see the mental health toll because, people think it's a dream job, right? And you see the toll, and we lose people, and everybody hushes up and is quiet about it a lot when we lose people and they don't want to talk about it. Could you just talk about the need for people to get care?
Let's not be quiet about it, right? That's the whole point. It's okay to not be okay. My dear friend Brian Howard owns Sparrow and Wolf. They talk candidly about what happened, during the pandemic. They lost a champion in their kitchen to suicide. That doesn't happen anymore, not on my watch. We want every restaurant in Las Vegas to know that the space is here for you. So when this place is up and running, that's it. No questions asked. Back of house, something that just basically says, hey, we got your back. So, yeah, it's okay to not be okay. Not every time you walk into work, you're going to have a smile on your face. We all know this. We know how difficult and taxing the service industry especially is. Listen, I've held every job in hospitality. I was a door guy, a bartender, a waiter. You name it, I've done it all. I started out on a path to become an actor. So that means, what do? You're waiting tables, you're bartending. That's what I did for over a decade. And listen, we need to do a better job in Las Vegas of supporting those who work in hospitality. Plain and simple. You know it. I know it. And that's what I'm, focused on for this next chapter of my life. I've been so blessed to call Las Vegas home that this is almost my responsibility to champion this project. This community is absolutely incredible, and we do an incredible job at serving everybody. So when they go home, when our visitors go home, who serves those who serve? That's the mission of the space.
Wow, thank you, Al, for sharing that. If you're just catching up to stuff, go check that out. Look up their stuff. Space 2.0.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hey, we did get, just yesterday, I think it was, we got the news that the organizers of Vegas Unstripped have announced details for this year's food festival.
Hell yeah.
It will once again be held at the Palms. It will take place Sunday, April 27, and tickets are once again priced at $150 plus fees. No chefs have been announced yet, and we're hoping to have organizer Eric Gladstone on the podcast soon. So when we get closer to the event, or when, of course, there's more
When
news.
you announce the chefs.
Yeah. I was on the fence about leaving town for a lot of time. Just a few days before that, this just made my decision to stay in town to make sure we're doing the podcast from there.
James Beard nominee last year, Steve Kestler, he's Aroma, Latin Cocina in Henderson, will join forces with fellow nominee Eric Prado of Garagiste Wine Bar downtown to create a special pop-up experience. That's this coming Monday, 2 Mondays, March 10 at Garagiste Wine Bar in the Arts District. The 4-course meal will include snacks, Nikkei-style ceviche, carne anshugo, which is meat and its juices, and dessert, expertly paired, of course, with wine. Tickets for the 8 p.m. meal are priced at $129, including tax and gratuity. They're available online through Square, and honestly, the URL is way too big, but I did check it out. If you go to Aroma Cocina LV on Instagram, there's a post with the menu, all the details and the links. You can find it through those guys.
Awesome.
Because, that's a really big URL that we can't give you over the air.
I'm really glad you mentioned this dinner because when I was just in Henderson, I drove by Aroma. Steve Kestler was there, and I got him telling me this about that dinner.
We're doing this collaboration with Eric. It's going to be a tasting menu, 4 courses, and it's a celebration of being both of us finalists for the James Beard Foundation. Also a celebration of being friends from a long time ago. We used to work together at Bouchon 10 years ago. So, it's going to be really nice, really good. All of the dishes that we're going to cook are not on the Aroma's menu. So it's definitely completely new food that you might see later on the new menu at Aroma. And of course, he's very knowledgeable on wine, so he handpicked really good pairing for the food.
The Mina Group has named Josh Smith executive chef of the new bourbon steak in the Four Seasons.
Yeah, they've been teasing that.
I
Michael
know.
Mina teased me with who was coming. Gerald Chin teased me over that one. Josh, I mean, fuck, that's so great.
Isn't that great? I mean, he worked at Mina's Sea Blue and Bardot Brasserie before leaving to open Delilah at Wynn, which is also amazing. Yeah, so I'm super excited to see what's going to happen there.
It's fantastic. He spent so much time with the Mina Group, and then obviously Bardot Brasserie. I don't know if he was the opening executive chef,
I think
or if
he was.
He may have been, but he really built that place into one. I mean, really the shining star for
Still
a long
favorite.
time.
Yeah.
The shining star of the Mina portfolio, you know, and. If it isn't anymore, it's only because other new cool places have popped up that are the new shiny new thing.
Absolutely.
So we're excited. So God, congratulations, Josh. That
I
is
love your
fucking
reaction.
amazing,
That's so
man.
awesome. Fountain Blue has announced its 2025 lineup of signature series classes and exclusive dining experiences. Upcoming events include the Perfect Pour with Beam Suntory on March 27. That's $150 a person, and there's only 15 seats available.
Wow.
Chef Patrick Munster teaching The Art of the Grill on April 12th at Le Cote. That's $195 a person. Again, only 15 seats. And Chef Kyle Bradish's Passion for Pasta class on May 22nd at Vita. That one is $165 a person and only 12 seats. You're getting the hint here, right, guys?
Yeah.
Get your tickets.
Exclusive.
And more events are scheduled through December. And then I just wanted to throw one more out there really quick.
Yes.
Middle Child over in, I believe it's called the Convention Corner, something on Paradise now. They changed the name.
Paradise Road across from Hughes
Exactly.
Center. That's what we fucking call it.
Paradise Road across from Hughes Center. Middle Child, which is known for breakfast and brunch, is now going to be opening for dinner. Starting at 5 p.m. on March 7th. They will be doing dinner every night. You'll still be able to go for breakfast and brunch from 10 to 3. And they're going to be doing a lot of the things we've seen. I mean, this is Nectali Mendoza, so herbs and rye.
I mean, that's what's interesting
Cleaver
about that is Cleaver
is
is
right
in the
there.
same.
It's in the
so he's
same-
gonna be, I mean, obviously they're doing good business over there. If you're running one dinner place and you're going to add dinner to your other restaurant in the same fucking complex.
And similar menus, steaks, all your classics. But, you know, they obviously do a good job because they keep opening them up. So I'm excited to see what happens.
It is really close to Sphere.
It is very close to
place
Sphere.
to go pre or post
Absolutely.
Sphere.
Yep.
And also, one of our favorites, Promare, is in there
yes.
as well. Okay, I think that's about it for this week. I still got a French fry in my
I
mouth.
love that.
Thank you to our hosts, Mallory, Gott, and Aaron Lee, as well as our guests, Keri, Kelli, Krystal, Meza, Ken Heck, and Mark Shunock. On behalf of Rich Johnson and Gemini Stevens, my name is Al Mancini. Have a great week, and make sure you stay hungry because we'll be back in 7 days with more delicious news.